Hi there, my name is Joel A. Sutherland, and I am the author of the best-selling Haunted Canada series. One of the things I get asked more than just about any other question when I'm traveling across the country is, what is the scariest story in my province? Or what is the scariest story in my territory? So I thought it'd be really fun over the course of 13 days to do 13 videos, one for every province and territory, where I tell you, the reader of the Haunted Canada series, what is the scariest story in every province or territory that I've ever covered. I'm going to start at the east coast of the country and work my way west. So we're going to Newfoundland and Labrador to kick it off. And I'm going to share a bit about a story in Haunted Canada 6. It's actually the very first story that appears in this particular book, and it's called The Swamp Hag. Gives you a little indication of what type of a ghost we're dealing with. Like I said, these are the scariest stories I've covered. Let me show you the picture of her as well. Spoiler alert, she's creepy. Take a look here. She is attacking somebody on the ground. This story is set in Bell Island in Newfoundland and Labrador. Now, in 1943, on Bell Island, there were a lot of iron ore mines, and so that's how a lot of the locals made their living, by working in the mines. There was a lot of work, but the pay wasn't all that great. So most of the families had to split time and split the fields and farm their own crops. Now, one particular night in, as I said, 1943, there was a man farming long after everybody had gone back home. His name was Nathaniel Hammond. He was out in the fields working on his potato crop when all of a sudden he smelled something a little odd and really gross. It smelled like rotten eggs and brackish swamp water. He looked around, and that's actually when he realized for the first time that he was all alone. He was so engrossed in his work he hadn't noticed yet. And then he saw one single solitary figure emerge from the trees near the swamps on the other side of the field. It seemed to be a woman, but she was wearing a cloak with a hood covering her face, so he couldn't quite be sure. And as she came slowly but deliberately closer to him, the smell got worse and worse and worse. Finally, the woman was close enough that he caught a glimpse of what she looked like, and that's when he noticed that her skin was falling off of her face. There were holes in her cheeks so you could see the bone and teeth below. Her hair was covered in dirt and leaves and twigs, and she was skeletal. She actually came right up to him, so close that the smell became so overpowering that he fell to the ground. Now, she looked down upon him and said that she had died many years ago and nobody in the town had helped her. And then she actually said, "Now I have come back to avenge my own death." She leaned in even closer, and Nathaniel realized that she didn't have any eyes, but instead had two dark pits where her eyeballs should have been. The smell was so bad, and he was so terrified from the appearance of this woman that he passed out. They found him many hours later, still in the field, and that's when he filled them in on what had happened. Now, since that day in 1943, more than 24 men have reported the exact same thing happening to them. So it wasn't like they could just blame it all on Nathaniel and his overactive imagination. So to this day, people are still very, very careful not to be out after nightfall in Dobbin's Garden on Bell Island. I hope you enjoyed this video, learning a little bit about one of the scariest stories I've ever covered, and this one in Newfoundland and Labrador, and I hope you check out the rest of the videos. Thanks so much. Take care.